This confirm fucking hell. Talk about an immediate reaction. I have not had any time to process this. Under the Hood is back. Not only is it back, it's back with so much important info that relates to the next Need for Speed game. It's still, you know, they still haven't released the actual name itself. The name itself is still being referred to it as Need for Speed 2017, but we've got a few things that we want to cover in this actual Under the Hood article. I've not really had time to kind of comprehend what's actually been said. It's literally just released, and I want to make a video on it now because this seems to be quite important. So the game is coming out around November time. In the article it says that they are happy to announce the game will be coming out in the end of 2017, and if it's going to follow suit, you know, to other Need for Speed games, chances are it's probably going to release in November. Maybe October for EA Access, possibly, because obviously EA Access, you get early content. It could be early October or late October for early access, and then early November for everything else. As we know, they're gonna, you know, unveil the game at EA Play in June. That's already been kind of discussed, and we've already talked about that. So that's really no surprise. And then they talked about the things that they really want to focus on in the next game. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but firstly, I need to show you this screenshot right here. I'm not sure if you can see that. That's a 350Z. Now, to me, this was one of those things like, yeah, it would be cool to have a 350 in the game. I'm not too bothered, but it's there. That's an obvious tease because that was one of the most, for some reason, everyone got triggered by the fact there was no 350 in the last Need for Speed game. So that's definitely something which is going to be in the game. I doubt they would have put that there and then not include it in the final game. So 350Z confirmed. Now we're going to talk about the things which they focused on during the development of the current game. So, customization. It's a pretty huge thing. It's something which, for me, makes Need for Speed, Need for Speed. It's something we asked for years and years and years before, you know, Need for Speed 2015 existed. They brought it back, and it was easily the redeeming factor of the last game. And they've basically said, we're just going to bring more customization. I expect nothing less. If it had less customization, I'd be very worried, and there'd probably be a rant video on it at some point in the future. Essentially, they just said customization's not going away and it's going to play a bigger role than ever, which is a good thing for people like me. I like customization, I like tuning my cars, so to see that they're going to carry on tuning cars and customizing and stuff, that's a good thing. Then they said cops. And this is a kind of a discussion point because, let's be honest, cops in the last game, well, they were pretty shit. They've basically just said that one of their main focuses on the next game is cops. And then they mentioned about a rhino entering a street race. Obviously, rhinos weren't in the last game. It was only challengers and a Crown Vics. So variation in police, a remodeled police system seems to be something which is of effect. Again, they've only said that they're just talking about police and that's one of their main focuses. So what happens from here is, you know, not really certain. But one thing which is certain, rhinos are going to be in street races, and I'm sure the cop AI is going to be much improved from the last game, because to be honest, in the last game they seemed a bit dead. They then talked about the actual world itself. Now they just mentioned you know, about you wanted to go in your customized ride up a canyon and that kind of stuff. Does that hint canyon races? Possibly, I don't know. Again, I might be getting ahead of myself. I doubt it does. I think that's just something that they probably would have left with Black Box's Carbon. I don't think they probably would have put canyon races. It would have been cool if they do, but I just don't really think it's there. But anyway, they talked about, you know, the beautiful map and stuff and the tarmac and whatnot. That was basically it. They just said they were focusing on the world pretty much. And then, this is possibly one of the biggest pieces of news in this whole thing. Always Online is going to be tinkered. We have a pause button. That's good. That's a good step in the right direction. You can now play single player Need for Speed with the pause button for the first time in about 3 years. It's been 3 years. It's actually been 3 years since we've seen a pause button in Need for Speed. Rivals didn't have it, nor did the last game. That's a 3-year gap. It's taken this long. Always Online is something which obviously a lot of people moaned about, and rightfully so. I'm personally not too affected by it because my internet's quite good, but I completely get where people are coming from. You want to play the game offline. What if you go over to a grandma's house, they don't have internet? I completely get it. It makes complete sense. And they've basically said they've tweaked it so you can play the single player completely online, which again just makes 100% sense. Playing the single player completely offline, just, yeah, it just makes sense. And that is going to be a thing in the next Need for Speed game. I don't know, I feel like that in itself is really, really cool. And then in addition to that, it's also confirmed the thoughts of the game having a day and night cycle, which I made a video on previously. The link will be down in the description. And it also backs up the point that we could get a dynamic weather system in the game. Again, we'll link the video where I talked about that in the description. You can go have a look for yourself. But all our kind of news that we've heard up to this point has been revealed, and to be honest, just this alone kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to see anything about this today, but we have. So I'm a bit gassed, really. I'm so excited for the next Need for Speed. I'm so excited. People tell me not to get hyped. People tell me not to, like, you know, hyping up the hype train. But I know I'm going to enjoy this game. I really enjoyed the last one. All they've really got to do for me is add more content. I know they're not going to do that by the sounds of things. They're working on the cop AI. They're working on making a better world. I'm assuming they probably, you know, fix their physics as well. But for me, I know I'm going to enjoy this game. I put over 1,000 hours into the last one on Xbox One alone. So I just can't wait to see what Need for Speed 2017 is looking like when EA Play comes round in June. Also, expect something June 2nd, because it says so there. I don't know whether that's going to be a trailer or something else, but expect something on June 2nd. Day and night cycle. This is insane. I am so excited. If you guys are sharing my excitement right now, please go ahead, subscribe, hit the like for more Need for Speed, and I will see you guys tomorrow in another video where I'm slightly less hyped. Jesus Christ.